Welcome to this episode of Brotherly. I'm really happy for you to make out time. I know you are extremely busy. You know, the band is doing well. You guys are all over the place. Let's go back a little bit. I got to discover that you were initially working for NDLEA, right?
Yes.
So can you just tell us how did it all start?
I know most times when I do interviews, when I grant interviews, and I say some of the things I'm going to say now, people are like, "Are you serious? Are you sure he's telling us the truth?" I have a security background. Like I was brought, up in a family, where my dad was a police officer.
Wow.
And I lived like half of my year in the police barracks. So you know how parents will want you to go after their legacy, and all of that. For me, music was the in thing. Music was all that I wanted to. I chased music from a younger age, listening to the likes of Lucky Dube. When I see my dad play, those old 12 inches records in the house, you go out, you make records, not like proper records, you make cassettes. Going back to the university as well, you take those cassettes, start showing off as if you are a DJ, knowing full well that if you're given the equipment to do the DJ stuff, as at that time, you won't be able to, achieve all of that. So by the time I was done with school, it was very obvious that I was going to get into serious trouble if I don't go, through the line that my dad wants.
Okay, trouble with your dad.
Yes.
Okay.
For me, it was like, why will I join police? For what? And all. Not until a connect came, through one of a family friends.
Okay.
That there's an opening, for you to do your NYSC in NDLEA.
Okay.
And just NYSC, they just told me just NYSC.
Just NYSC.
I remember that's how it sounded, just NYSC.
So did the connect come through your father or to you first?
Not from me, from I think one of my siblings, my elder sister, yes, I remember now. That's I have a friend now, since you're looking forward to serve, you want to come to Lagos. Then I redeployed. Anyway, Malam CD, I did my first, that's the orientation program there, and at the point I got frustrated. I wanted to come back to Lagos. And I got deployed, but now I was looking forward to serve. Then my sister came up and said, somebody in NDLE can make that happen for you. I said, NDLE, you sure it's not part of this police thing? She said, no, just service and you're done. And that was how I entered NDLE, started serving. After the service, for the first 1 year, you know how you're young, no vision, especially barrack boy, in your head, it's just, man, anywhere with the wind, the blue, you make it go. That was the thought. So by the time NYSC was done, we now had a new chairman, NDLEA, whatever, that period, that just gave us automatic employment, It took me almost 3 weeks. I didn't mention it in the house.
Seriously?
Yes, because not until that family friend that gave us that connect. Now, Bobby did not tell you that they employed them, this and that. So they're like, he never mentioned it. It was now an issue. And I said, okay, no problem. Let me do 1 or 2 years and still chase my dream. That was how I got into NDLEA. Before you know it, 9 years gone. It was a very long, stressful 9 years.
Really? From
surveillance to investigation. I was everywhere, when I mean everywhere. I worked in Adamawa State, Yola. I did 3 years there. I did Kaduna. I did a bit of Yobe again, But I think Kaduna was the last place, and I got tired. While I was working, I was able to, polish my DJ skills.
So that means you are doing it side by side as a side hustle.
It was, I wouldn't call it side hustle. I never did that, in a commercial level while I was in NDLA. I will tell you, my first commercial gig, like proper gig, was in 2008. That was the first time I was paid for a job. And how much was it? 20,000 naira to DJ. But before that time, it was just fun, just,
doing it for free.
For free,
Passion was
somehow to see how you can sharpen, the skill and get it better, make it better, and all. So when I was posted to Kaduna, I now did the comparison, how much coming from this point, that was in 2009.
Okay.
That posting came. I compared what I was getting from this side, and before then I had established the band.
Sort of the
Yes, Sort of Air came.
Wow, I didn't know it was that. Is that old?
Sort of Air started in 2005.
Wow.
2005 commercially, but in practice, we were practicing like 2004, the rehearsals and all of that. But our first launch was in 2004. So by the time I compared, what was coming from that side, the DJ and the band, it was like × 3 of what I was earning from NDLA. So that gave me the courage to just train the towel and take a walk.
Wow.
And I checked it for like 6 months. It was consistent. So I beg, let me move.
Sign that there is market for this skill.
Yeah, let me just move. And, I now took it so serious. And
personally, I got to know about Salt of the Earth some years ago, like over 10 years ago, but I didn't know it was way further back then. I thought, Salt of the Earth was an extension of you after you had become the party machine.
Salt of Earth came first.
Seriously?
Next year will be 20 years.
Wow.
Salt of Earth.
Wow. You guys should do, I'm sure you guys are doing maybe, how would I put it now? I think Bad Boys did a 20-year anniversary concert or tour. You guys should do something.
We're planning something like that. We did a mixtape, not a mixtape EP anyway.
Okay.
With about 5 tracks this year.
I discovered that you're the one that pioneered video DJing. Can you concur if it's true or not? In Nigeria?
Yes. I say that boldly. I started visual DJing.
What is it called? Is it video DJing or visual DJing?
Visual DJing, video DJing, they're all the same. But in the DJ space, that's the DJ industry, we'll call it video DJ.
Okay.
But from a layman's perspective, you can say visual DJ. Yeah. But they're both correct.
So how did you get the idea?
I would say I got frustrated at some point. Before I left NDLA, or while I was with NDLA, I was opportune to manage 1 or 2 DJs. And at the point, I realized that all the DJs were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the same thing. We play the same music. We play everything. We copy. And for some of those DJs, they never believed one agent from the government parastatal will just wake up overnight and be transformed to a DJ. So it was a bit difficult. That was the frustration. It was difficult to get in the mainstream DJing, to even get to be even identified
and accepted
as one. So I started digging, I started researching, I started taking tutorials on YouTube, not like it is now that we have access to internet. Every Tom, Dick and Harry could access internet, without having to go to a particular cyber cafe to do that, I had to start downloading tutorials, start watching. Then one morning I woke up and I called my wife, then she used to be my girlfriend. I was like, man, it is possible I can do video, and sync it, You know, when you're hungry and when you're frustrated at that point in time, plus the Holy Spirit, it helped.
Yeah.
Because that was my first year. I became a Christian. Like I understood what being a believer, meant in 2008. So all of that love for Christ, for God, plus the person of the Holy Spirit giving you direction.
Yeah.
You could tell that when you sleep, you're sleeping with coming out with ideas. I just woke up, no tip of anything about visual DJing that is possible in the world. I just woke up and I called her. I think it's possible. I want to stand out. I want to be different. We can make video and audio at the same time and it to work. She was like, is it possible? She said, okay, let's try, let's research. And I started researching and I realized that just one person, I think in Germany, then was doing it, and he was doing it with a Serato. There's a company called Serato that DJ, all DJs, like 99% DJs in the world use today. At some point, in my DJ career, I was the sole distributor of that product because of the interest to do video DJing.
Wow.
Yes. So because it wasn't popular, it was like a better version they were putting out, and it was just only in Germany that they tried it, and that was how I got the connect. Before I started practicing, and I got a hook of how, what to do and how to go about it, and I started trying it in events, clubs. Before it started giving me the attention I was looking for before. All the top DJs, named them, started calling.
Wow.
How did you do this?
Brand differentiator.
What application? What specification of MacBook? What Windows are we going to buy? Trust me, this happened.
Yeah.
So I stand tall, to say that I started this video mix in 2009.
Wow.
Till date, that's what I'm known for.
Man, doff your hat to the king. He paid his dues, and 2009 till date. Wow, that's
and
how many
I can
years?
boast of 77,000 videos.
Wow.
In that 77,000 videos, I can boast of that something thousand old school from 50s to 90s that you cannot find on YouTube.
Wow.
If you see them on YouTube, you won't even be clean. So.
Wow.
It's a long journey.
It's a long journey. Now you moved a step further. Now I don't know whether you pioneered this, but the whole concept of and I don't know what it's called within the industry, whereby the DJ is now releasing songs, producing music and having to feature artists on it. Now I got to know about you playing in that space when you released a couple of years back the hit track, super hit track with the Nyanda. Ishibo, because NY is always pronounced Nyanda out there. So Nyanda is only Igbos that get that. Nyanda. So DJ Bobbi featured her on the hit track Red Alert. And I remember that it was popping off the chart. It was on heavy rotation during then. And I think there's a line in that song that she said that I think
sold my soul for a key.
That line is a killer. That's like it just keeps ringing in your head, and so how did that come about? So the whole concept of now producing music videos, how did you jump into that? And I think I really want to know, where did you meet Nyanda?
Nyanda, okay. With the concept of visual DJing in 2009, I think around, I got into it's a prominent TV station here in Nigeria. One of the best. I don't know if I can mention the name.
Feel free.
Sound City, I've been in Sound City for 13 years. No, not 13 years, 14 years now.
Oh, wow.
So in the course of practicing and trying to express those contents, when you practice, you look for where to express, the content as well. I now got hired by Sound City in 2010. I started, expressing my work on Sound City platform Then I got into Twitter. Then it was Twitter. Now it's X. I got into Twitter. I would chop in like a 1 minute, 30 seconds of my content. I post on Twitter, now playing on Sound City, with the DSTV link and all of that. Then somehow Yandana followed me. This thing happened as far back as 2011.
Wow.
Yes, I've known her that long. Yes, she followed me, introducing herself as artist. She did this. I think that era was when Love Is Wicked came out and they were popping.
They are popping.
They
were everywhere.
And all of that. Nobody believed in Afrobeat as at that time.
Yeah.
It was just the Western music that they were popping and people were dancing to. But I kept that relationship. I started getting materials from her, through Dropbox, through emails. She'll send me audios, I'll do videos of me playing. Somehow became very friendly and she introduced me to her manager. I kept that relationship till 2017 was when I started talking about doing collaboration, and all of that.
Wow.
By 2018, we jumped on it and it came out good.
I missed the shoot. I know I was offered to be at the
Yes, I remember that then after that our event now in 2019.
Yeah, I was offered to show up, but I didn't show up. So but I couldn't make it, but when I saw the video, I was like, oh, I would have been here. Anyway, we are now here.
It's doing well. The song is doing well, not in Nigeria or abroad. In Europe.
Can we have some numbers?
I know on the average I do like on Spotify, I do like 10,000 or on a normal day.
Wow.
But overall I can tell you I've seen close to, from my back end, I'm trying not to maybe overshoot. I can say I've seen close to 3 point something M from back end on my digital platform, and all.
That's you alone. I'm not even talking about other people, like other people having it on rotation, other media slots and all that. Yeah. Wow. So let's drop into fatherhood. Okay. Now, you've been married for how long?
For 13 years, since 2011.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, I'm correct. I remember correctly. That wedding, I was there. I remember clearly the venue, beautiful. Mm-hmm. I think, was that your wife's birthday or you just decided to celebrate her that day?
Birthday.
It was her birthday. Yeah, because I remember the fireworks. The fireworks, we were just counting down. People were just screaming like a fizzy, plenty, what's up? Lagos was, and it was like, the who is who in the media industry. We are available, we are there. I think Victor was there.
Yeah, Victor Pipe was there, Shegu Obi.
Yeah,
was there a lot of
them, and it was awesome. It was awesome. How's marriage been?
Marriage is sweet, very sweet. I'm glad that I married my friend.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and she's been my friend for 13 years.
Wow.
I made it so we deliberately, made it happen that way, that we are friends. That's friendship must not die. We know we are married, we know we're gonna have children, but any day I stop being your boyfriend or you stop being my girlfriend while I would be. So it's sweet. I tell people when I talk to youngsters about marriage, I tell them it's good to marry your friends.
Yeah.
Marriage is sweet.
We were going to record another episode on marriage tips and all that. So please give me that content. Give me exclusive to that content. So let's move into fatherhood now. How did you feel when you knew or when you got to know you're about to be a father? What was the feeling like? What was can you just help us know what did it feel like?
Honestly, the feeling, it was out of the world, like, are you serious? And I remember how she did this,
how she presented
the information. Then I got back from work on the bed in our living room. I just saw one white envelope, and she was like, landlord brought this message. You know, you understand? I was like, why now? We're not owing him now. Okay, could it be land use charge, you know, and all of that. So I now picked it up. When I opened it, and I saw the picture.
Look at this.
Wondering
What is this?
what is this? You know, and I turned the back and I saw, you're not a father. He screamed.
Wow.
You know that excitement, you know, having
Pardon me, did you cry?
I did, because we got married in 2011 and she became pregnant in 2014.
Wow.
So that's like 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
So, you know, I was
you guys have been
broken
waiting so
emotionally.
long. Yeah.
And but like, man, finally, God, you did this.
Yeah.
You answered the prayer. And all.
Yes.
So from that time till she delivered the baby, you know, I started carrying her like egg.
Like
You know, don't do anything. Don't worry. I'll do this one. I'll do it. Don't worry. I'll just leave it. I'll do it. You know, and also it was a fun ride. You know, I really enjoyed that moment, and it's the kind of moment that you want to come again and again in one's life.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. How many kids do you have?
2, just 2.
Okay, 2.
You know,
Wow.
Chibuzo and Adiela.
Wow.
2008 and 2015. One is adopted, and my main biological. But I don't see him as being adopted because I call him my son.
Yeah, that's.
But because we're on TV, people that will watch and say, but we know him to just have one child. How come he's 2? You know, so I have to just explain all of that.
Okay. Do you relate with them, both of them, the same way, or is it based on character, how they behave, who did the dishes, or simply based on, okay, this is what I want to achieve on this person's life as a father, and I treat you that way? Let's have your view.
You know, as a father, there is no proper school, you know, that will put you through. It's a job that you learn on the job.
You learn on the job.
It goes.
As
you
it
learn.
Goes, yeah.
You make mistakes, you know, and all of that. For me, I treat both fairly, you know. I give them equal rights and equal care and love, so that they will not get or start having that feeling of that he loves this one more than the other.
Yeah.
At some point in his growing up, we had to now switch. You know, when he got to that teenage age, you know, instead of using the staff, you start using rod to shaping him up and all of that. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to, you know, put him in a boarding school to see how that can help him firm up and help him become independent, you know, without having to lean solely on parents.
Yeah.
You know, and all of that.
So you're a firm believer of boarding as being a good approach of grooming children?
The truth is, you do the best as a parent, but at some point you realize that some of these kids are so attached to you emotionally, you know, that even growing up as a child, having to live in the barracks, you know, I faced a lot of humiliation, a lot of bullying, a lot of challenges that at some point in my life I had to sit up and chest it. I went to boarding school as well. I did my junior secondary through boarding school, and I would say it helped
toughen you up or make you more independent.
I would say toughen me up, you know, to some extent, toughen me up and helped me to understand some domestic responsibility too. So all of that, we started seeing some lapses in that aspect, and we just took the decision to help, you know, let's you know, expose him to the world. And, you know, based on all we've taught him, we showed him the scripture, we showed him the right way to treat people, we showed him how to speak to people, how to speak, you know, outside and all of that. But we started noticing some gaps that needed to be, you know, closed up. And the only way that could help I mean, the only way we could get that help
Yeah.
was to expose him to a Christian school.
Okay.
So that's how we took him there. And he has done like a year now, and we've seen changes.
Okay, wow.
You could see him, talking with boldness. Even his movement and posture too has changed.
Yeah.
Too. You hear him say, "My friend said," and I told them this is wrong. I told them, and all of that. All that we're missing before we took that decision. But if it's about loving them and having time for them, I don't joke with my family. Like if I'm not doing this recording today, if I'm moving out, if I'm not going to work, I want to go out with them. Okay, let's chill, let's drive down, let's, like yesterday, I took all of them out, spend time, crack joke, and one thing we intentionally do is letting them know that you can talk to me no matter what it is, anything, whatever it is in the world, tell us.
Okay.
We will not beat you, but we'll discuss it.
Let me even look at it, because sometimes when we look at people in your industry, musicians, artists, celebrities, actors, those in the entertainment space, there's always this sense as if they are irresponsible. There's this sense of, can they keep a home? Can they be faithful to one wife, to one husband? Because there's a lot happening out there, and getting this vibe from you talking about you being born again, your walk with God is serious, inspiration by the Holy Spirit. Somebody might be thinking, is that the same DJ that plays a song? So, but it goes a long way to let us understand that, you can't judge a book by its cover, and that a lot of people are really deep-rooted in strong and have strong convictions. Let's go back a little bit. How's your relationship with your father? How is it like, and how did it influence in shaping you today, positively or negatively?
May he rest in peace. My father is late though, but I can tell you, growing up, the kind of love I'm showing to my kids today, I got that same love.
Even in the barracks? Yes.
But you could tell it's sort of love mixed with toughness and...
As unto policeman, he has to be tough.
You understand? So, but at some point in my life, I now was able to extract, the exact love, that I want to stay with, if it's the tough or the soft one, and I think I took the tough one, and I stayed with it for a very long time, and it helped me. I don't want to go to my siblings, because they also took their own.
They downloaded what they wanted
to download. So, but for me, what I took helped me, and till date, it's still helping me. I had a very good relationship with my dad. I remember when I got into trouble in my university years, bad trouble that was supposed to take my life.
Wow.
And all then. And I took a night transportation to come to Lagos that morning, and I met him in the office. I was like, "Daddy, there is nothing I will not tell you. I'm in trouble. You're the only one that can help my life." And I saw the joy,
that you opened up to him.
Yes.
You trusted him to step in and assist.
Yes. I was expecting him to use the rod, but he was just after my first son will not, be rusticated. My first son will not be a dropout. Those were the things he was saying. And the next day we entered school or went back to the east and, pressed one or two buttons and everything.
Got it sorted out. Wow. It's and that is something beautiful. That is something a lot of people, we fathers need to really pay attention, whereby you give your children enough room to trust you with what they are going through. And that might have also been the good heart he has, plus the training as an officer, being able to know that there is a part of, I can be firm, but I am also, my arms are wide open to welcome and encourage. So
if it was firm, then he would have lost.
He would have lost you.
Like completely, lost. You're not going to even hear from me again.
Yeah.
Because I would be so scared. Because running home was the safe ground.
Yeah, the safe ground. From your own position, what do you think is the core role of a father to a son, thank God you have the two. So what do you think is the core role of a father to a son, and what do you think is the core role of a father to a daughter? If it's the same thing, then let's hear it together. But if it's different, some people think it's different, that maybe a father's responsibility to a daughter is different from a father's responsibility to a son in the process of loving and discipline.
I think as a father, my core role is to make sure I direct them to things that are pertaining to Christ.
Okay.
As a believer, point them to Christ at the early stage, and in doing that, they understand the love that Christ has for us. They understand that we are made in the image of Christ and we are made to function in Christ. I mean, we're meant to function here on earth, through Christ.
Yeah.
And also, in doing that, we are also made to enjoy life, having dominion.
Yeah.
In doing that, because if in doing that, you start showing them the right character, the right what's it called, the spirit of the fruit of the spirit. You start instilling in them to help. People don't know that, right?
Wow.
Yeah, you can check that out now. It's in Galatians 6, 9, 20 or so.
I think, do we need to add Pastor, King, Doctor, DJ? Go ahead. I'm actually enjoying myself. Go ahead.
So you start showing them, because at some point there is nothing you can achieve without the presence of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
You pray, you show them how to pray, you show them how to read the Bible, you show them how to interact with the content of the Bible, and how to express that, and keep reaffirming to the children how much you love them, how much that they are wonderfully made, and because if you don't do that, trust me, people will school your children outside. People will help train your children outside as well. So you have to be very intentional in doing that. Like intentional. There's nothing like I came back from work and I'm tired. No. Trust, like my kids, if they're going to school, I pray for them. I plead the blood of Christ and I tell them, go and win. And when they come back from school, the first thing I ask them, did you win today? And I'll say, okay, I didn't win, Daddy, I didn't win today because I didn't finish early. I was slow. I couldn't go for break because I wasted time. And in doing that, you tell them you are still a winner as long as you finished. Yeah. Everybody is a winner. Forget the time. Yeah. But next time, try as much as you can. You see that when you do that, that's withdrawal. Within they try to exhibit why they are with their peers. Yeah. They end up not doing it. Yeah. They end up, leaving home with that affirmation from their parents, telling them that you are the best, you are the head, you are the head, you are not the tail. You are beautifully made. All of that. Yeah. Start ringing in their head. For a father, to get to a level for me talking to my daughter, at some point I won't be able to do much, because I can tell you my daughter from the age of 3, my wife started telling her, do not dress in front of your father. And I like that. Do not dress, do not, come naked. And till date, I don't even get into her room. So it will get to a point, my responsibility as a father will just stop somewhere. Madam will now carry on. Yeah. And also bear in mind that in that relationship as father and mother and children, the wife plays a much better role that can be described from the spiritual point of view as, in the person of the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Managing when you are angry, she'll be the one telling them, calm down. Your daddy is just back from work. He's stressed out. Just come. All of that. So it's a role that we must jointly understand. But it's not like we have any templates to do that. Yeah. But in the course of doing that, the Holy Spirit will open your eyes to more and more directions to help, put the children through.
I think I just went to church. So King, I have a friend or an old acquaintance who shares this belief, or according to him, he said that he does not believe in the notion of being his son's best friend. That he believes that parenting is more of training than friendship, and that he wants to create an environment of safety and trust and love that will afford the son the opportunity to reach out to him whenever he needs help. But he does not want to be the son's paddy or drink buddy. He wants to be able to, he wants a situation whereby that anytime he steps in, there's some certain level of fear and reverence from the son to him. Do you share that view, or do you think he's not working up?
I think I'm of the same opinion, creating a comfortable ground, where you guys can share love, and care and, trust, where the boy or even the girl, will be able to open up to you in some of their, times where what they are going through within, their peer group, even in school, and all of that. But that does not mean I will now make him my drink partner. But the truth is, at some point in their growing up, you definitely will have to relax on some of these things. Imagine when your son is now 27, 28 years, he's working, he has his own house. Come on now. But still, once in a while, you let him know, come, I'm still your father, or don't behave anywhere. If not, I will show you my old way, and all of that.
Okay, so you believe that there's need for reverence and respect, for control.
If you don't do that, they'll keep a lot of things away from you. Like if you don't make that enabling ground or environment.
What bracket will you regard as that age that where you can say, okay, this boy is now an adult? I know some people, maybe US will look at 18. So you see people like
18 for me, it will not work for me. I'm telling you, maybe 24, 23, 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I can start relaxing.
Okay. So what's the most strict disciplinary approach you have deployed in parenting your children? Is it a ground? Some people say, ground them, let them write, I am sorry, 3,000 times in an exercise book. Or let them just do pick pin. I'm sure you remember pick pin.
Pick pin is like let me say, in the order of punishment is maybe second.
Okay, second.
No, sorry. Third. Like a trial punishment. And see if you get better.
Yeah.
But by the time I watch you and you're still doing that same thing, I'll use hard to use the rod, flog shaggy. I'm telling you, like beat you well, if possible. And you realize that old ways still work.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing, because the modern narrative of you don't, that is, some people call it abuse, that how can you be hitting? But the truth is this, spare the rod, spoil the child.
You see, that's why that environment of love, you must have shown him that you love and you care, like beyond reasonable doubt, beyond anybody that will tell them outside, your daddy does not like you, your daddy hates you, that,
so you show that enough.
Yes, to be able to use that rod. Even after that rod, you can still have a sit down and discuss with him later and say, do you know why I did this? And this is this. And you end up smiling and he will apologize to you. And you guys are good.
Yeah, there's a line in the scriptures that says that the foolishness dwells in the bosom of a child. That is the rod of correction that will drive it out. So for those who say, don't flog, I believe that there's some element in a child, foolishness, stubbornness, silly acts that can only the communication part of a cane or whatever on their backside, as the case may be, will drive that out.
I visited the UK some weeks back, and I was fortunate to be with my uncles. They've lived in the UK for maybe like 50 years, and they have children. Well, I mean uncles, like 3 of them.
Okay.
When you hear their wife talk, they just wish they were able to move the kids to Nigeria for maybe 10 years. I'm telling you, the kids have grown so wide that they cannot even talk to them.
Wow.
Yes.
And that is because of the absence of firm, strict discipline.
Yes.
Wow. Because I'm looking at myself, if I'm thinking, how would I have turned out if I never got flogged? If I didn't get firm discipline. So if I see how I turned out, even some of the stubbornness that remained until I got serious with God, if that was not there, I don't know. And it's because the truth is that fathers, like I said earlier, are meant to enforce standards. That's one of the reasons we are. And in cases where there is fatherlessness, where the father is absent completely, or whether the father is present but has delegated the responsibility, not functioning, you see children go, and there are statistics showing the decline. Actually, statistics have shown that fatherlessness is the top contributor to crime because crime is being committed by youngsters from homes where there was no correction, where there was no enforcement of standards, and people are allowed to do whatever. These days, a boy goes out, comes back with money, and nobody asks, where did the money come from? The same thing, girls goes back, come back with money. Who is that? Nobody asks questions. It's all about that.
Even the parents will even tell them to go and meet to superstar and call them money.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Okay, as we begin to round up, let's look at legacy. So you've been in this game for 20 plus years. In this game, you're known as a top level tier one DJ. And I think you've gotten to a level where practically you really don't even DJ anymore. Do you still DJ, like actively?
Well, yeah, I DJ. I also provide services for like consultancy for brands as well.
Okay.
DJ agency, you need DJs, will give you jobs.
So it's now gone beyond you now.
Yeah, so because I can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
And there are some outlets that cannot afford to pay me as a brand.
Boss.
Is the truth.
Boss.
Not like they don't have the money, but their budget for entertainment, regular, yes.
Rich.
So you just have to look for some of your sidekicks and push them in.
And why we are talking about legacy is this. Let me just, explain that is this. For every man, for every father, there is a yearning in their heart to leave something behind for the next generation. No father wants to just leave, die, and go. There's something about, okay, what am I leaving for the next generation? What will I be remembered by? And sometimes that question starts popping into our head when you start reaching that bracket of 40-ish, 40 plus, 40 thereabout. If you are not still at the survival mode, as a father, you should start thinking, what am I leaving behind? Who's gonna succession plans? What's the impact? What would I be remembered by? So what is the legacy for you now? Because I know about the DJ Bobbi Scratch Academy that was on for a couple of years. I think you guys were able to release or train about 40 plus
people so far.
DJs?
Yeah.
Wow. Is there any other academy of such in the country?
None that I'm familiar with. We train people on how to DJ as well as character development, and also we teach you finance, how to manage your finance, and how to use because it's a trend in the industry. It's still a trend as we speak now that DJs are very responsible. Yes, that I can say. Say it over and over again. The little money they earn, you see them going to brothel and motel with that, carrying women around, getting drunk, and all of that. So what we do in the Scratch Academy is we teach you the skill. We also teach you character, branding, and finance, how to manage, But I don't. What I handle is this make Scratch
the technical part of this.
Yeah. Then I bring in people that will handle the character development, the branding, and finance, and all.
So where are the seeds of that academy? Where are they now? How are they doing? Are they working for you or?
Yeah, just two are still working with me, like in the agency, as to speak, and they're doing pretty well. When I mean working with me, not like they are freelancing. But I get them to work maybe like twice in a week while they do their stuff, while we have the rest of them still out there. We have the likes of DJ X-Ray, we have Looney Tunes, we have Darrell, we have Philly Best. These guys are around the world, UK, Canada, Germany, US, everywhere.
One of the reasons that made me have this or decide to have you on this guest, because you see someone who has been able to, you're a father in your own right biologically, you have been also in the game or in the industry you have raised people who can look up to you as a father in that same respect. So that's also powerful. So what's the future? What's the next line?
No, even this, sorry, I forgot to throw this in. Even this academy thing, it's more of a foundation because these guys were not even, they didn't even pay. It was not a commercial
Wow, it's
thing.
free.
Yeah, it was free for quite some time.
Okay.
You know, like the 40 people I mentioned were trained without collecting any dime from them. So
it was more
a
like you giving back.
Giving back here to the society.
That's what we're talking about.
I'm saying
impact.
it proudly on camera. You know, we did not charge them. We just brought them in, and from zero skill to what they are now. They are making a life out of the profession.
Wow. The doctor element in your name, because you are now a doctor. Did you go back to school? When did you have time? Is there a PhD element there, or how did that come about?
It's an honorary degree.
Okay,
a doctorate rather.
Okay.
Yeah, from an international university.
Wow.
In Togo. ISTM.
ISTM.
Yeah.
Wow. So congratulations on that, Doctor King. You're gonna reach one paragraph very soon, but we'll see how we go about that. So
some months back, I was asked to send my resume, and the resume came out to like 10 pages, and they were like, "Oh boy, what are 10 pages? Oh boy, what's up now?" But you know how it is.
It's
now.
what it is.
You just have to put everything.
Yes, it's what it is.
Sometimes we even forget some of these things.
Yeah.
Brands. I've worked with quite a number of brands. So I've worked with Total Upstream. Then I've worked for World Bank.
Wow.
We do stuff with Cubana Group, Rhapsody, Lagos Continental, Chevron. We do stuff for Braipan.
Well, give it up for the king.
For P1 Homes.
Okay. Wow.
The list is endless.
Wow. And we are not even hanging the boots yet.
Not for now.
We are still kicking. I remember there's a discussion somewhere for a movie production company. And is it, can you tell me about it? Because I think maybe you started, like I said, DJ moved into a live band space, moved into Academy Foundation.
We also do live streaming production too.
Live streaming
production for brands, companies.
Wow. Wow.
We provide them such services for the Catholic Church Men's Group. We do that too for Braipan. Braipan is an international association, for insolvency. I hope I'm correct for the help.
We'll look that up. Okay, so the movie part, is that a production? Can you tell me about it? Is it you, or is it an association with another entity? Because I know you mentioned that one time we have having a conversation that there's a plan to move into movie production. I know it's all in that entertainment space. So
we're already in it already. Myself and my wife were partnering. We're already partners. When two has become one.
Yeah.
I mean, two becoming one. So already we're in it together. So we started production last year. We've done like 3 movies.
3 movies.
That's towards the end of last year, and hopefully it should be out. And we are looking at taking it to the next level, into getting into series and movies that we can submit to the likes of Netflix and Prime. So we're trying to get to that, to scale up our production to be able to get into that space.
Okay,
by the end of this.
That's amazing. That's amazing. As an actor myself, I know the logistical nightmare around movie production. So this is not something you can get into if you're not ready to play big. And with the demands and the demand on quality now in Nigerian content, you can't play small any longer. So how would you want to be remembered? First of all, by your family. Second of all, by your fans out there. How would you want to be remembered when it's all said and done? I know that will still be like 100 years down the line, Sha.
By the grace of God. By my family, I want to be remembered as that loving, caring father.
Yeah.
That is hardworking. That's always smiling. Because for me, that's what keeps me going. You know, growing up, seeing my mom, you know, smile, my dad. You know, I would say I took that from them. And whenever I talk to, or maybe I get in this kind of space and I'm being asked such, I tell people I wish I could give 50% of what my parents gave. You know, the kind of love they showed to people, kind of care, the kind of attention, you know, they were able to, you know, exhibit during their lifetime. I've not even scratched 20% of that.
Wow.
You know, so I want to be remembered by my family as a loving dad, someone, you know, that's anytime they remember my daddy was this hardworking, my daddy achieved this, my daddy did this, my daddy did that. Then in the industry, I would say we've left quite
Some marks.
a chunk of legacy, you know, already, you know, by training people and retraining and even impacting on people too. Some DJs, they still call to ask, how did you do this? How can we get this? How can we, you know, one thing I understand is the sky is just too small for, like, sorry, it's too big for us. We so there's nothing like being scared. You want to take my job. My brand is different from your brand. The way I am being perceived is different from the way you're being perceived. So if you ask me a question or you ask me, how did you do this? How did you do this? How did you do that? I try as much as I can to show you that way he makes my life easy, you know, in such a way that I will not be stressed to come and start showing, like, maybe you handling this camera now. It's only DJ Bobbi that knows how to manipulate this camera. Every time this camera has issue, where is DJ Bobbi's? I just show you. So, Oga, Mr. ABCD, come, let me show you. See how they do this, do on like this, do on like this. So that I am there, I'm not there. You know, you can, you know, then also, I want to put this in passing. I'm also trying to branch into some other things as well. You know, adopting some other part of learning. You know, making animated videos. You know, creating beats. I'm beginning to refix some of the known music. You know, that I'll be putting out in a couple of weeks.
So that means
you know,
you're producing new songs?
Not like new songs, you know, just like you have some of the 80s, 90s way back. What I'm trying to do now is to remix them with some of the Afrobeats.
Okay.
You know, Afrobeat is top now in the world.
Yeah.
So imagine hearing what's it called, Ladies Night on a Burna Boy's beats.
Wow.
On Anaman piano.
Wow.
And all of that. So just trying to be relevant, you know, and also preparing my exit in the next 5 years.
Oh, you already marked the exit point?
Yes. Wow. You know, like now stay and start doing other stuff, maybe get into Forex, crypto, side hustle, you know, and be watching the world and all of that, because it doesn't make any sense, you know, staying so long, you know, I'm too old in the industry. Not like I will not DJ, but I will know that my gigs are only strictly for premium class.
Premium. How much is money?
Agbabola.
We've read a lot. Awesome song, awesome beat. When is the next one coming out? So, is there any plans to produce? Are you already looking at any other international, you know, collaborations? Something we go come. We're supposed to collect Grammy before we close now, before we hang this book now. So, you know, what do you have? Anything in the works around producing new songs?
Yeah, I have a record coming up with Magneto.
Magneto, that's
the guy that did Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, Magneto is my homeboy. Shout out to Magneto.
Wow, Magneto.
Abadodo. You know, I have something coming up it's a collaboration between myself, Magneto, and Yanda again. Magneto, Yanya, Yanda, and myself. That's 4 people on that track.
Wow.
And it's titled Your Body. Lovely joint. You know, in a couple of...
I get a sense that that maybe this is just the after mix, that mixing is just going on. Maybe the recording is done. It's just
mixing and mastering. That's we're waiting for. Then I have another record coming up soon. It's just a collaboration to be able to relaunch the young dude, back in the industry.
Okay.
Flexi B.
Well, the King Bobby, it's been a pleasure having this conversation with you, and we can maybe have another episode and discuss some other things, maybe discuss on the game. But here we have it. This is King Doctor DJ Bobby, and thank you for being on
Party
board.
machine.
Party machine. I don't even, with the king in front of the doctor there, party machine. I think I was a party boss.